Degrees at KNOW FM 91.1, Minneapolis to St. Paul. Twin Cities weather for tonight: occasional showers through midnight, then partial clearing. Low temperatures 40 to 45. Windy and cold tomorrow, a 50% chance of showers. 56 degrees at KNOW.
This is NPR, National Public Radio.
Midday is next on
Wise on the Spiritual Path.
56 degrees at KNOW.
This is NPR, National Public Radio.
Midday is next on
Wise on the Spiritual Path.
56 degrees at KNOW.
This is NPR, National Public Radio.
Midday is next on
Wise on the Spiritual Path.
56 degrees at KNOW.
This is NPR, National Public Radio.
Midday is far.
Wise on the Spiritual Path.
56 degrees at KNOW.
This is NPR, National Public Radio.
Trying to determine the
Midday is
source.
far.
He said it's not clear if the spores were contained in a letter or whether White House mail was contaminated at a Central Washington mail facility where anthrax spores have also been found. Officials say tests show no evidence of contamination inside the White House, and President Bush told reporters confidently that he does not have anthrax.
We're making sure that the West Wing, the White House, is safe. And let me put it this way: I'm confident when I come to work tomorrow that I'll be safe.
Workers at the remote facility, as well as those at 2 mailrooms within the White House complex, will be tested for exposure to the bacteria. Pam Fessler, NPR News, the White House.
The director of the Centers for Disease Control today defended before a Senate panel how his agency handled the postal workers in Washington who've lost 2 of their co-workers to fatal anthrax infections. NPR's David Wellman reports from the Capitol.
CDC Director Jeffrey Copeland was sharply questioned by senators from both parties. They wanted to know why workers at Washington's main postal center were kept on the job even after other postal workers in New Jersey were diagnosed with anthrax last week.
NPR News, the White House.
West Wing, the White House.
NPR News, the White House.
West Wing, the White House.
NPR News, the White House.
West Wing, the White House.
NPR News, the White House.
West Wing.
But let me add that's
NPR News, the White House.
West Wing.
But let me add that's
NPR News, the White House.
West Wing.
after that could have helped us 2 or 3 days before.
Workers at all
White House.
West Wing.
After that could have helped us 2 or 3 days before.
Workers at all
White House.
Civilian targets in Afghanistan.
After that could have helped us 2 or 3 days before.
Workers at all.
White
She
House.
says one bomb landed in a civilian neighborhood on spokeswoman said Belgium's senior citizen center. She says one bomb landed in a civilian neighborhood. Military does not have information on casualty center in the western city of Iraq.
Pentagon said 2 U.S. helicopters came under fire in Pakistan. They said the choppers were fired on as their crews tried to retrieve the wreckage of another helicopter that had crashed during the weekend commando raid. On Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 37 points to 93.40. NASDAQ was down 3 at 1704, and the Western City 500 was down 5. This is NPR News.
Support for NPR comes from William T. Grant Foundation, helping the nation value conservation research and
in the western city of
program,
Iran, a commando raid tried to retrieve the wreckage of another helicopter. In the western city of Iran, a commando raid tried to retrieve the wreckage of another helicopter. In the western city of Iran, a commando raid tried to retrieve the wreckage of another helicopter. In the western city of Iran, a commando raid tried to retrieve the wreckage of another helicopter. In the western city of Iran, a commando raid tried to retrieve the wreckage of another helicopter. In the western city of Iran, a commando raid tried to retrieve the wreckage of another helicopter. In the western city of Iran, a commando raid tried to retrieve the wreckage of another helicopter. In the western city of Iran, a commando raid tried to retrieve the wreckage of another helicopter. In the western city of Iran, a commando raid tried to retrieve the wreckage of another helicopter. In the western city of Iran, a commando raid tried to retrieve the wreckage of another helicopter. In the western city of Iran, a commando raid tried to retrieve the wreckage of another helicopter. In the western city of Iran, a commando raid tried to retrieve the wreckage of another helicopter reached the world in the western city of Commando.
That's news from NPR. I'm Phil Picardi. Here's midday host Gary Eichel.
Well, it's now official. There are no traces of anthrax at the sites that were tested here in the state of Minnesota. State Health Department spokesman says a final round of laboratory tests on samples of air and dust that were in the state capital and the Governor Jessica Venturas' two homes has confirmed that traces of anthrax at the sites that were...
I'm Phil Picardi. Now here's midday host Gary.
The world in the western city.
Traces of anthrax at the sites that were...
I'm Phil Picardi. Now here's midday host Gary.
The world in the western city.
Traces of anthrax at the sites that were...
I'm Phil Picardi. Now here's midday host Gary.
The world in the western city.
Traces of anthrax at the sites that were...
Minnesota's
State Public Safety Commissioner Charlie Weaver. Commissioner, thanks for coming to talk about that.
Thank you, Greg. Great to be here.
Preparations. Is there any evidence at all that Minnesota faces any kind of a terrorist threat?
No, and we can't say that enough. We should pay attention. People should be alert in terms of strange things they may see, but there continues to be zero, and I mean zero, evidence of any threat to any particular target in Minnesota, to people in Minnesota. There's no evidence of an operating cell. I've heard some people say that there's a cell here operating that wants to do Minnesotans harm, but we are in daily, sometimes hourly contact with the FBI, and they continue to give us solid information, nothing that's federal.